Hey everybody, YouTube Dad here. Just thought I'd come out and do a quick little video of how the garden's doing. It is already a hot June Saturday here in Florida. As you see, I still do not have a sunshade over my tomatoes, but they are doing wonderful. I actually water them twice a day for about 15 minutes using my little makeshift PVC irrigation system that I actually set up. It's actually a pretty easy setup if you wanted to give it a shot, if you're looking for something simple. Let me show you exactly what I've done here. So hooked into my well, I have this little timer here that you can turn on by hand. It's not an automatic timer, so I just come out here before work or after work, or my kids do it. If I see the ground's a little wet, I just leave it alone. But literally you just turn it on for 15 minutes. Water stays on constantly, and it runs through this hose. This hose runs over to this PVC fitting. Now I went with a 1/2 inch pipe here with I think that's a 3/4 inch fitting or something like that. I'm not sure, I'd have to look at it and see, but just find a fitting that fits your hose. And then I just glued everything together and then took the smallest drill bit I had and drilled a little hole into the pipe. Now if I over drill and I put too many holes in it, I can come through with some PVC pipe glue or even some flex fit, and I can just pinch these off. Another thing you can do is you can actually take a pool noodle and slide it, cut the pool noodle lengthways down the entire noodle, and then slide it over top of this, and it creates like a soaking effect, and it will just drain down and it won't spray on your plants. So that's another option that you can have. Right now I'm not having any issues with any deterioration of leaves or anything like that because of the water, but I have options in case I do. Back to the tomatoes and everything that I talked about a few minutes ago, that they were happy and doing well. I actually have several that I picked. I picked about 10 of them yesterday. They're at the breaker stage where they are starting to turn a little yellow to orange. At that point I'm going to pick those, take them inside so the birds and the animals don't get those. Take them in and let them ripen up inside. They're already releasing those gases for the ripening process. This thing just keeps on growing. I mean, it's probably about 5 foot, almost 5'6", something like that tall. So it's doing wonderful. As far as the squash goes, squash is starting to mature. Getting a lot more female squash in there with male flowers. So I got to make sure that once they bloom, I am going to be pollinating those. I have kept a close eye on this just to make sure that everything is looking good and I'm not finding any more of those pickle worms. I have not seen any inside of any of the flowers. I have a squash there. Got multiple little baby squash here. And this one here, I also have some more little baby squash. So we're doing well. So the dipple dust, I'm going to come back about once a week. I'm going to put some dipple dust on it because I do know some of this water that I'm watering with does wash it off, but I want to make sure that I coat the squash and the flowers very well. Another thing that you can do is if the water is washing off your dipple dust, just move your vine around. Just move it out of that water, prop it up. Do something that's going to help make it conducive to keeping that dipple dust on, because that pickle worm actually needs to eat the dipple dust in order for it to die or be, scared away. So something to keep an eye on. I also had a bell pepper actually break the limb and come off, so I took it inside, and honestly this morning my parents gave us some organic eggs that they have a little they're chicken farmers. So they actually gave us some of their eggs, and we made some scrambled eggs and bell peppers and tomatoes. So it was delicious. It turned out really good. Next thing I'm going to do with my basil is actually I'm going to make a pesto out of it. It's going to be my first pesto. I've been plucking the tops off of it to make sure it doesn't go to seed. If it's going to go to seed, it will make the leaves bitter. Right now they taste delicious. So a pesto is in its future. All right, moving right along, we have our arugula, which is doing phenomenal. I actually replanted some of them to help with the with spacing it out a little bit so they can get nice and leafy and big. I have several other ones that I did not do that to, but next time I do a garden, I'm going to space this out a little bit more and make this entire thing all arugula. Carrots are coming in sporadically. They're doing okay. This one here is my favorite. It's doing very well. It's a happy little carrot, so we'll see how it turns out. And I want to say those carrots are actually called Danvers. They're Danvers. I did keep the package, so Danver carrots. All right, spinach, not doing too good. We're not even going to talk about that. Sweet potato I pulled up. I actually looked at it and it was starting to rot, so it did not do well for me. As far as the potatoes go, I have several of them buried in here. Let's see if we get any roots growing on this one. All right, this one is definitely rooting and growing. Oh yeah, I got a nice little root right there. So we're gonna put him back. He's starting to do his thing. He'll end up doing a little growth. He'll break through the dirt, and then I'll have some leaves. So I like these little water things. I can rub my hands over them and my hands get clean. So I don't know, I'm spoiled. All right, cilantro is coming in good. I just gotta make sure that they don't go to bolt too soon, and just keep an eye on those. And I'll probably start to repot those in a different pots. I just got some pots available because I redid my pool area with all those shrubs. So I gotta take those that are sitting right there and start planting them other places in the yard. My parents brought over a little over 100 plants. All right guys, strawberries, they're still live and strong. They're doing their thing. It's been a little hot for them, so they've been drying up. I've had one or two that turned out pretty decent. That's about as big as that one's gonna get. It's kind of past the season. So we'll just see how this one ends up doing for the winter. Try to keep it alive and going. All right guys, that is all I got for you. And it is hot out here. I'm gonna go back inside where it's nice and cool. All right, you guys stay cool. Have a great Saturday. Stay cool and let it grow.